everyone, to a late night edition of Vinny Presents. We are up late tonight, but it's all worth it because we got actor filmmaker out there from live from Hollywood. My main man, DeStefano. Lou, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on here. I'm pretty excited, and it's been a minute. We've been trying to get this going.
Yeah, we've been playing this for quite a while. I don't want to tell the guests how long, but it's been a while. That's
Yeah.
mostly my fault, though, so I'll take the blame.
Yeah, we're both busy guys. Don't worry.
So, Lou, I gave you a little bit of an intro, but why don't you tell the guests a little bit about yourself?
Well, Louis DeStefano. That's the way I pronounce it. I'm originally from Redondo Beach, California, Torrance, Los Angeles. Those that are probably local that follow you on here, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm an Italian-American actor, and I make movies for a living.
It's a beautiful thing, man. You're living the dream out there.
Yeah, working hard. People think it's it's hard, like easy and so forth, and it's hard work. We can get into that soon.
It absolutely is. So now I followed you now for it's been about a year, and I love I love what you do. I love just watching some snippets of what you're doing. I love honestly even the photography, the artwork of your projects, which I think are really amazing. But tell us how you got started in acting.
Gosh, it's a long story. So when you're a kid, and like the teacher or the fireman or police officer that comes to your school and asks you what you want to be when you grow up. Like, I wanted to be an actor, but then also I wanted to be a fighter pilot for like the Air Force, and join the military. And so about 1986, 87, like when Jean-Claude Van Damme came out with like Bloodsport, I was like, oh man, like I wanted to do what he's doing. Because the backstory to that, like my grandfather that raised me, I call dad. My uncles, they're all into like bodybuilding and martial arts. They love all the kung fu movies, Bruce Lee movies, all the action movies from like Rambo and Arnold and Van Damme, Bruce Willis. So at a young age in the early 80s, that's what sparked my curiosity and wanted to pursue acting. When I was a kid, I was like, I want to be a movie star like them, like straight up, But the reality is a little when you don't know when you're a little kid, how the business is and so forth. It's hard work, and you have to pay your dues. And I just knew that calling was upon my life at such a young age, and it's been confirmed throughout time. Like the test of time is proven from when I was like 8 years old to pre-teens to high school. Everyone say, yeah, I can see you in the movies and be a movie star. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. But I was kind of shy about it, and I did grow up in martial arts, and I just didn't know how or when it was going to happen. It's been like a lifetime to get to where I'm at. It didn't happen overnight, man. But now I'm living the dream.
That's great. And by the way, we will get comments from time to time. So we got Pokey Boy who says, "What's up, brother?" I'm assuming that's Anthony. A friend of yours.
Yeah, thanks, Ant, for joining. It's my best friend from Vegas right now. He's originally from LA, but thanks for joining in. If you could stay, this is my second podcast. I think I've done, so far. Yeah,
I probably could have been your first, but I kind of dragged my feet a little bit, so it's my fault.
Yeah, no worries.
But
Anthony, his name's Anthony. He's a really great guy. I love him. We've been through a lot, and a lot of good times. It's like a lot of freaking good times, dude. Yeah, he's not in the movie business whatsoever. Yeah,
that's not for everybody. But nice to meet you, Pokey Boy or Anthony. And thanks for joining us. And again, anybody watching this, make sure you please, any of my people, obviously, make sure you're following right away. Follow Lou. And anybody else, please make sure you're following me on here, as well as this will be rebroadcast on my YouTube channel called Vinny Presents. Would love for you to subscribe. But again, back to you, Lou. And this is a vocation. Let's face it, it's a vocation. I speak to a lot of people in the business, and it's consistent. You got to work extremely hard at it, but the rewards are worth it.
Definitely.
So now, how was it doing your own thing, making your own movies? Because I know you're into the action genre. How was it making your first film, and what was it?
Well, I worked for a company, and they I directed one of their movies, but that was after a year paying my dues and working really hard. there's a whole backstory. I came on as a cinematographer. The producer, Gregory Hatanaka, knew I just wanted to act, and I said, I just want to act. He's like, oh, okay, cool, you know. And there's a whole, like, gosh, man, the story is really exciting if you want me to get into it. Like,
Sure.
you know, yeah. So I end up, my producers for this movie called Prayer Wrath, I done. It's going to come out this year. It's a big action movie, independent. You got Tatiana Neva. She's a star, amazing like actress, stunts, martial arts. She does the whole thing. And then we end up signing on Cynthia Rothrock, which is the queen of martial art films in cinema history. So we got her on the movie, and so we got the stars. And so that company I was working for, with Benny and Doug, my producers, they saw my work ethic and they saw the potential, and they knew I just wanted to act. I told them, I was like, when they hired me on as a cinematographer, Doug was like, what do you want out of this? I'm like, I just want to act. He's like, okay, you're the lead good guy in the movie, like pretty much, and you're getting paid. So, and I was like, oh wow, it's a dream come true. So they hooked me up with their distributor that distributed their last movie called Syndicate Smasher, and they felt that I would be a good fit for the company. And so yeah, you come on, do production, do cinematography, show them what you can do. You have a likable personality, and you know you're gonna do good. And so, and that was a perfect match for the company. And in 1 year cranking out movies, I got to star in Another Way to Die, which we'll get into. So let me not jump too fast ahead. So I got booked on this movie through them. It's called Amityville. What's it called? Amityville Cop, and then Wrong Sarah. The producer was like, actually, shoot. Sorry, man. I done so many movies. American Mobster Retribution, starring Nino Chimino. I got on there playing a cop, and that day they were having me play background in like different characters, but you couldn't really see me on camera, and because they were just throwing me everywhere. And then they gave me a second role, okay, and so I put a face mask on, washed my hair out, and I played a mortician. So I got to do a scene with Nino Chimino, which I'm like, I'm all like stars in my eyes, right? And so, and at the end of the shoot, and in front of the whole cast and crew, Greg was like, so Lou, what else do you do? I said, well, I know how to run a production. I can move lights around, and I can run camera. I can shoot your movie. He's like, oh, you can shoot my movie? He's like, yeah, you shoot my movie and go home? I said, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'll shoot your movie. You can go home. And everyone's laughing because that's a bold thing to tell someone that's been in the business almost 30 years and has his own distribution company. So he's like, okay, you know, I'm going to need your help. Me and Benny, the other producer that referred me, Benny and Doug, he's like, me and Benny are going to work on a couple of Westerns. We're going to do a couple of action movies. I'm going to need your help. I'm like, cool, whatever you want, because I'm like trying to get my foot in the door, right? And like, and work with these guys, you know, show them what I could do. And so I ended up booking Amityville Cop and Wrong Sarah. Now, after I did American Mobster Retribution, which everyone has to see, it's a freaking great movie. So then I get the scripts, right? I don't know what character I'm playing yet. It's heavy dialogue. I'm starting to panic. Like both films, heavy dialogue. I'm like, what I got myself into. And so from there, to make a long story longer, the producer calls me up, hey Lou, you only have a couple lines in Amityville Cop because you're gonna get killed off, but you need to shoot the other movie. We're shooting two movies at the same time. I'm like, how's that? Oh, we're shooting it under the same studio on the same roof. And I'm like, okay. And we went ahead and did it. I did my scene, and we shot two movies at the same time, one in 5 days, one in 7 days. And it was like a whirlwind. It was like I pulled through. The director star of Wrong Sarah, Jason Toller, he was starring in Amityville Cop, so the guy's stellar, man. He knows lines for both movies, and he's directing the one I'm shooting. So when he wasn't on set in this, you know, because he was doing the scene for the other movie, I was pretty much directing his movie. You know what I mean? I don't care for the credit. I just had to get the job done because, you know, prove myself and so forth. That, you know, I'm not going to cry about credits, man. It doesn't matter. And so, you know, and we got that movie done, came out good. And then from there, then Nino Chimino reached out to me. He's like, hey, you know, I want you to do a Wise Guy Christmas, which is, you know, a Wise Guy comedy Christmas, you know, and he wrote it, produced it, and starred in it. And I play opposites of him. And I played Benny Latanya, one of the Latanya brothers. And it was a dream come true, you know, and that right there, like, changed my life. And next thing you know, I was like back-to-back movies with the company within 1 year working for them. I started Another Way to Die, my action movie that's already out on TV and Amazon. Then I directed my first feature film, Amityville Emmanuel, and I shot that, you know, and I give thanks to Chris Spinelli and Linda Wong, and they're my dream team, and I couldn't do that movie without them. And then I directed my first feature film, and it's wild. And then like right after that, then I started Backfire. It's been like nonstop, and it's crazy. Now I'm on my third feature film starring in Blowout, previously called Fallout, but they changed the name because of the other show that's out right now. It's crazy, man. So that's all that in a nutshell. You know?
That's great.
Yeah.
And by the way, thanks for the comments, everybody. Appreciate everybody with the positive comments. Great interview. Thank you. And also, Pokey Boy, have a good night. Looks like you're signing off. Great to meet you. Johnny Penza, what's up, my man? Thank you very much. We were doing this very often, John, and any of you out there, please make sure you're watch the recap. This is going to be on Vinny Presents. Give it about a week or two, and we're going to put Louis on the YouTube channel. But going back to what we were saying, I mean, and I remember speaking with you maybe 6-8 months ago, and you were busy, dude. You were rolling. So I must have been around that time period. And
Yeah.
you're probably coming up for air just for a minute now, but it's a good thing to be constantly busy. I mean, a lot of people dream of that.
Yeah, it is. I'm very fortunate, man. Glory to God.
Yeah, amen. Yeah,
It comes down to
absolutely.
it, you know?
God is great always. That's what I always say.
Amen. Yeah.
So for what would you give some advice maybe to some actors that are just starting out that may not live in your neck of the woods, that are maybe on the East Coast or somewhere in middle America, and they want to be, maybe they want to be an actor, maybe they want to be a filmmaker? What's some good comprehensive advice you would give for somebody just starting out?
Good advice. Well, you know, we have YouTube, and there's plenty of fantastic people that create content and tell you how to make content. You know, from cinematography to lighting to writing, screenwriting. Excuse me. You know, there's a lot of videographers, and that's what I was doing when I was trying to figure out like how to get into the business. You know, like I knew I had to buy my own camera one day, and so I was watching people who had what and what they were doing with what they had. So if you want to, you know, get into the business or just create content, just you got your cell phone first of all. You know what I mean? But you have to learn basic, you know, camera composition and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? And then learn editing if you want to learn editing. But for acting, gosh, you can just use your friends and family that are interested in doing it, or a local club or a school that has drama or theater or something like that, or TV and film, and try to hook up with those people or local filmmakers and just get together and just try to create. Because I'm going to give you a quote that my acting coach, Anthony Gilardi, always said, from the Anthony Gilardi Acting Studio out here, Italian guy from Boston, right? He says, if you're not acting in front of the camera, you better be writing, producing, directing your own stuff, because you have no excuse in the day and age you live in, or the day and age we live in with the SAG new media. You have no excuse not to create content. Look at you got your podcast and you're all over the place, right? You have no excuse. So when there's a will, there's a way, and if you feel called to it, do it. You know, and just get out there. You know, get some headshots going. You know, with whatever you could afford. You know, get some acting classes going. Whatever you could afford, whatever fits your budget. Get on camera as much as you can. You know, short films. I won't waste my time doing music videos. I did them. It was fun because I wanted to do them at the time when I was getting my feet wet in the business. But yeah, just learn how to make your own film at the end of the day. Start off small, short film, you know, and if you feel called to be a filmmaker, keep creating, and then eventually try to do, you know, your first feature film, no budget feature film, you know what I mean? And just learn everything you can about filmmaking and acting, and just do it. You know, if you feel called to, do it. If you don't, run from it.
Yeah, I hate to be so repetitive, but I think I say this on every interview that I do, but it really never has been easier for you to get involved, because you could pick up this phone that we're using and just start, you know, you could probably make a short on some of these phones. You really could. And just to get the practice,
Mm-hmm.
just to get you can start a YouTube channel. Like, you know, I'm doing these podcasts, and
Mm-hmm.
a year ago I had nothing. Now,
Yeah.
you know, I've grown to 1,100
16,000
plus subscribers on
Oh,
YouTube, and
YouTube,
then
yeah.
on YouTube, and then on Instagram, you know, I'm over 16,000 followers. God bless all of them.
Yeah.
And I had nothing last year. So if you have a little bit of you just gotta try. You got to just do it. You just I think you would agree with that.
Yeah, you just gotta see what works, you know. like I knew, that's one thing. I knew I wanted to be an actor. And as I had gotten older into like my late teens and early 20s, you have to make your own feature film. You know what I mean? Like you have really no excuse to not work. But my story is different because I wanted to learn how to run camera so I could eventually make my own feature film one day. I literally haven't made my own film, but I made other people's films. The company I work for, I made a lot of films. You know, they're all distributed. They're all out there. You know, all different budgets. You know, high to low. You know, like I can make anything pretty much. You know, and so, but now I'm in a position where I got to get the scripts done, and where your weight in gold is feature films. People are trying to do this, you know, series and stuff like that, which is fine. You know, people taking different routes and wanting to do short films. Do the short films to get experience, see if you really want to do a feature film, because it's not easy. The whole filmmaking process is problem solving, and also finding the right people that are willing to be committed, that are not going to be a problem. You know, you want people that are going to be an asset to the company and not a liability to the company, and stuff like that too. So make a feature film, you know, and that's your weight in gold. That's your leverage. Like at first, you start out with no money, get the film done, learn the process, you know, and then move on to try to do a second feature film. And once you get on the map of independent filmmakers and distributors, then, you know, maybe potential investors will come. Other filmmakers might come in there where you can do bigger budget. And it's just like little by little, you start to build your track record. It's really a track record. So you got to start somewhere. And I started out in production, like straight up, you know, like I didn't think like the whole thing, I want to be a movie star, but I started out in production, like, you know, as I got older, because I wanted to learn everything I can about production. And now it's like, I can go out and like make a movie, you know what I mean? Like I can get it done. And it's like, then I'm working for a distributor. So the movie's going to get out there. A lot of people can make a movie, but they can't get distributors. So they blow all that money and that's it. And then it sits and collects dust for years. And I worked on stuff that never saw daylight. And for whatever reason, because you can have problems, the producer can have problems with the writers and so forth. And then, you know, because people don't understand the business side and percentages and stuff like that. So the film never gets to see daylight, and it's a shame, you know, but it's all a learning experience. And I think the networking is really on set with your work ethic, and that will just keep you working. Like, and that's my story. I've been working since day one. No manager, no agent, you know.
Lou, that's great. And
Yeah.
just a quick couple little shout outs. Thank you very much, Cecilia. Thank you, Link. I'm probably messing up your name, but you know what I mean. My buddy William Horn, always very loyal. You guys are awesome. Welcome, welcome to the rest of you. You are watching Louis DeStefano. I know you pronounce your last name differently. Go. How do you say it, Lou?
I say DeStefano, but my family
DeStefano. All right.
back east in Brooklyn and New Jersey is like, it's DeStefano. And I'm like, okay. But out here, like my uncles, they say it different. You know, DeStefano, or DeStefano. You know, so it's whatever. You know, and then people in Italy say DeStefano. You know, with a DI instead of a DE.
Yeah, and that depends on what region you're into over there. But
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
it's 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 not easy getting distribution.
Right.
I know that. I know that from experience. I know that there's that thing called clean delivery, and you got to make sure your stuff is on point, man. And
Right.
so that in itself is a whole other. But the good thing is you're learning from different. I almost kind of want to use the analogy of working in a restaurant. That you learn how to be a cook, and you learn how to be a dishwasher. You learn how to be a waiter. You learn
Mm-hmm.
how to do the books,
Got to
and you have to learn.
learn the business.
Right. You learn the whole thing, and then eventually it pays off because then now you're working from a perspective of experience,
Mm-hmm.
and you're less prone to making those mistakes.
Yeah. There's one guy that asked a question. He said, "What's the name of the most recent movie that came out or that I'm working on?" Like the one that I'm working on is called Blowout. I'm almost done. I got in 2 weeks. I'm back on set wrapping up that movie and some action. You know, it's an action film. And then the ones that are released is Another Way to Die. That's out. Backfire is already out. My movie I directed, Amityville Emmanuel, is out. Amazon Tubi. Um, Deadly Western. I play the villain. I play Cooper in there, so I'm the villain of that movie, and it's like a sci-fi western. I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty fun. Got the ride horses and all that, and had a blast.
Shout out to Ryan Phillips. I see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Anybody, please make sure you're following please follow Lou here, and then if you haven't followed me yet, please do. And what else do we have here? Thank you. The most recent working on the most recent one that you're working on as well as release.
Yeah, so the recent one I'm working on is Backfire, but not Backfire, it's Blowout. So Blowout's the current one that you saw where I'm holding the AR-15 with my glasses.
Yep.
So I'm in production on that, and A Man Is Dead. That's a new one. That's we're in production on, and you gotta check out my IMDb, man. I got a lot of films in pre-production or in production right now. But the main one I'm filming right now is Blowout, and then supposedly I was supposed to shoot Crossfire this month, but we're still not done shooting like Blowout and Man Is Dead. And then we have to finish this other movie called Bolero, and so that I think so Crossfire might be pushed like until summertime or something like that, you know. And Crossfire is another action movie that I'm starring in.
Great, fantastic, brother! I can't wait, man. I can't wait now. So let's see what Ryan says. I will follow Lou for sure. Bedtime, maybe send Lou the King of We. I need to get that as a major motion picture. Yeah, he's got a good story. You may want to check out Ryan Phillips.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thank you, Ryan Phillips. Have a good night, man. I appreciate it.
Now, if you're starting out, now I know from my own experience, the project. And I don't like to make this about me, but I'll throw it out there. You know what? I'm down with that, Ryan. Thank you. My project that we started out with the idea of doing a short. We did a crowdfunding. We did was it GoFundMe? No, it was Indiegogo. And we successfully raised 25 grand.
Wow. Congrats.
Thank you, in less than 60 days. We actually did it before the end of like a week before it ended. So that was just because we had a great bunch of people that really, that dug in deep and helped us. But now it's going to be a feature. Now we're going for the feature. Script's done. What I'm getting at is, how do you feel about crowdfunding? Have you done it? What's your experience with crowdfunding? Do you recommend it?
I personally haven't done it, and I say if you want to try it. I mean, like, you were successful, 25 grand, man. I can go make a feature film right now. You know what I mean? Like, if I have 25, more $1,000 like that, yeah, I seen only very few people bring in a lot of money. Like Cynthia Rothrock, she just did her movie Black Creek. It's a Western. She has all the martial art action stars in it, and she raised a lot of money. But then she is a name, and she has stature in the business, and she is the queen of martial art films, and I'm so proud of her. And it's just like all the money just came pouring through. So it's very you don't know. It's a hit and miss. I mean, like, but it helps when you are a name, and then you have other stars attached and stuff like that. So you have more power, and then plus people were paying to be in the movie too. So so a lot of people are paying a lot of money to be in that movie. It was like $90,000 to do a fight scene with Cynthia Rothrock and Dog the Dragon Wilson or something like that. So it just depends. It depends who you have in. But if you have angel investors, friends and family that want to dump money, I mean, that's great. I personally haven't tried it yet. It's an option later on, but I'm not gonna count on that right away because I'm work for a company. We have scripts already. They want more scripts from me, and we're gonna get these out. And so they have a way of doing things to be able to get their movies done. So I don't think I will need to turn to a crowdfunding at this moment, but maybe in the future. I don't know. It's an option, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It doesn't hurt.
I think we actually. I'm sorry. Now I look back at it, I'm like, wow, how do we do that?
Yeah.
But now we parlayed that into lawyer fees and startup money for the feature, which is going to be under $1 million.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that offline. But
sure.
Okay, so Ryan Phillips said this is to you. He says, you knew Bob Proctor. He was a dear friend of mine.
Bob Proctor.
I said, that name sounds familiar too. He must have been looking on your friends list. JC Lifestyle says, love the green screen. Do you recommend green or blue for auditions?
For auditions, probably blue. I only use the green because I was trying to use a backdrop when we were trying to use like Zoom or something, but like the other streaming platforms didn't work tonight, so that's why we're doing the live on here. But yeah, use blue. There's plenty of videos on YouTube to do how to audition right. But if you're asking me if I auditioned lately, no, I haven't auditioned in a long time. Like that's the whole thing, man. Like I have such a track record and a reputation. I get referred work through people I already worked with in the past. And that's how it is. Like when you start out, you'll see a lot of people come and go in the business when you're barely getting your feet wet and you're trying to get on every project and so forth. But then you start to see people fall away and go on and move on with their lives. People move, they get married and so forth. But eventually you'll find the right people to work with, and then you'll rise up with them. You know, a lot of, I'm not going to name big stars, but that's what they do. They start out with a certain group of people that they know they can work with, and they continue to work with them throughout their whole career. You know, so like now it's like I'm with, you know, I'm with the company, and we're like family, and we are a family, you know, and so we continue to work together, and we're rising up together. And then sometimes we bring new people in, you know, if the roles require new people, you know, or a certain type of actor that we're looking for, you know. So yeah, man, it's a trip. I haven't auditioned in years.
No, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, look, and it's just like anything, whether it's even what I do with the podcast or with Instagram or with anything really. It's you succeed faster and better when it's a collaborative effort. You know, when you have a
Sure.
team,
Yeah.
that's how you grow. That's how you build. No matter what industry or what
Yeah.
kind of what kind of niche you're into.
Yeah. Speaking of the green screen, the reason why I have it, I never had one. I recently just got this because I'm about to get back on the casting sites after like 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start playing the game and going back out there to get some work. You know, what I mean, other work, because I have a track record now, and I got stuff to show for. So I want to try to get more starring roles in other people's films. You know, what I mean, people they check your stuff. They know who's doing what, and so I have had talks with other people that hit me up for other feature films and all that. But you know, it's, you know, when the paper's there and the money's in place, then we talk, right?
Oh yeah,
You
I mean
know,
you got
it just
to eat, man.
depends. You
But
know, it depends who they are. You know, if it's really worth it or not. You know, I can't jump on everything. You
all
know,
right, you have to be selective because it's your reputation too.
exactly.